Okay, let's call to order the November 17th, 2015 meeting of the North Kooch Area Sanitary District. Before we get started here, we've got the document here, the oath of office already signed by James Robb, who will be the new board member replacing Doug Dalton. Now apparently there's some confusion about when this Doug Dalton's unexpired term ends. So the city's supposed to clarify that, but as of right now, Jim Robb will be a member of the board. And then that clarification will have to go into our files. So, you know, it's okay with the board. I'll just sign this. This is signed by James Robb and Kenneth R. Anderson, City Administrator. You want me to sign it and date it? And it's 11/17. 15. Okay. Roll call.
Do we have a letter from the mayor appointing him?
Yeah, we have the letters.
We can get you copies, they just came this morning.
Yeah, we have the letters. Is there a problem with that, Don?
No,
Letters were not there this week?
I didn't have a letter in my packet, I was just
Oh,
wondering.
yeah, there were a couple letters here.
Just
I
happened
made sure
last
that.
night. I delivered the letter just for.
Apparently the appointment happened last night. Yeah, okay. All right, roll call. All members present then, including our new member, James Robb. All right. Audience, is there anybody in the audience that wants to address the board right now, this particular time? That's
You have Mr. Boyle, but he'll be speaking with Mark Allen.
okay. Any additions or deletions to this agenda here?
I'd like to put more on our new business, our power bills. Discussion on our power.
Power bills
Yeah.
under new business. Okay, do we have agreement from the board to add that to the agenda? Power bills just generically or?
Yeah, I'd like some permission to.
Oh, okay, all right.
We add it?
Hmm?
Is the chair adding it?
Yeah, adding it under new business, just like you said, under new business, power bills, very bottom there. Yeah, Mike?
I would like to see, with the letter we got from Steve Shimon, I think there's some confusion. I know I do, and I don't know about other board members. Exactly, is this termination?
Yeah, okay, do you want to add that, or we can,
I mean, I just,
can we add that in this new business, so we can get to our regular business? And, okay, on new business, and letter from Steve.
yeah, I mean, I would like to have a exact clarification,
Yeah,
exactly
yeah,
what
yeah.
we're doing with it.
That's probably a good thing to do. Okay, then, any other additions, deletions?
I don't know what it would go under, but I know I did receive a letter from Northern Reliable Insurance regarding our cancellation of their policy and choosing another carrier, and I don't know how that all happened, or I don't know if there should be an explanation for it, but
Yeah,
it would be old
well,
business.
okay.
Mr. Chairman, Mr.
No,
Anderson.
yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Anderson and I had a long, very good meeting. He understands completely. He's accepted it and he will work on it next year. Recognizes the fact that he was not servicing us.
Yeah, I remember, I did get an email concerning that, but did you see that? Did you get an email about that? Okay.
Yeah, I got letters, yeah, I went and talked to him for a while, and I think it's pretty well settled, but you can talk about it if you want. But. I had to go on other business. I mean, I didn't go just to talk about that. I went out for my personal insurance stuff, and so we talked about it.
Yeah, like
That, and then, so then he came over and talked
what
about
his
it.
discussion was with him.
He had some
Yeah,
impressions
okay, we can
on
add that,
it. We got it good.
We can add that later on in the meeting,
Yeah.
clarify that, okay? Boy, this is getting. Okay, if that's okay with the board? All right, anything else? Oh, Tom. What? Okay, carry on. All right, the minutes. Let's look at the minutes of the October 20th
I would
meeting.
make a motion to accept the minutes of October 20th, 2015.
We have a motion to accept the
I'll
minutes.
second it.
There's a second. Tom. Any discussion? I got something to say, but,
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
and we started at 7:30. And in that motion by Billy, it's second by Work to acknowledge original motion and sign a contract of severance. The original motion isn't the one we last voted on. The one that Mike is arguing about is the termination. That's what we voted on that day.
Well,
Now, if I'm wrong, I'd like somebody to explain that to me, how we voted on two different motions.
yeah, I know that's confusing, but what, okay, just maybe amend what you're saying. Now, at the very first paragraph, there was much discussion about the termination, separation, resignation. Now, it can't be all three. It's gotta be one of the three. You know, I'm saying that it was a resignation the whole time, and I thought we made that abundantly clear in our discussion in the last meeting. I think it was interjected several times, because the motion was kind of cryptic and it wasn't very specific. Maybe we didn't know what we were doing at the time or whatever, but.
No, and I agree with what you're saying, but what I'm saying, the meeting started at 7:30, and it wasn't posted at 7:30.
I'd like to raise a point of order,
Yeah,
and that is that if a motion was made that conflicted with any state, federal, or laws, or our bylaws and stuff,
yeah,
it's null and void. And since that meeting time was all screwed up, I think that motion and the outcome of it is null and void, because the meeting was posted at 8 and you guys started at 7:30.
right, no,
So you violated that law, I believe.
yeah.
And we have our.
Okay, well, I mean, that's the thing, we don't
And
have
that's
an
what we're talking
attorney.
about, John. I
but-
mean,
Yeah,
So
that's
I'd like you to
I'm not saying
clarify
it's
that.
not.
all right, okay, now, we have an attorney in the office here. Now, do we want to instruct the attorney to make his determination on the legality, or does he have time? Can he be,
Well, I'd have to know the facts in order to give an opinion.
right, I know this is,
So I need to understand what actually occurred.
you know, and this is a problem that I've seen, and I've seen it with other boards too, is we act too quickly on something without looking at it, you know, thinking about it. Big mistakes can be made.
Put it on the floor.
Pardon?
Could I have the floor?
Yeah, yeah.
What happened was the meeting was posted in the paper for 8 o'clock. The board meeting started at 7:30. And the first thing on the agenda was Chopper's letter, and they acted upon it.
First thing was, wait a minute.
Well, the meeting
Was
started at
occurred.
7:30.
Mr. Chairman, first of all, you had an original motion that the majority passed to accept my resignation, termination, job elimination, and that discussion was on the table. That passed. The only thing that the meeting that Jim and you guys are talking about right now with Shamon's contract was that the motion was passed, that you accepted me going with clarification of legality from Mr. Shimon.
Yeah.
Mr. Shimon determined it was legal, and he's the one who chose to draw up the contract as it was. But the act of you guys accepting my resignation, termination was done the meeting before. I even questioned why you guys were talking about that so much. I even questioned it, because the motion was done. You guys simply asked for legal clarification. That's it.
Yeah, no.
Business was done.
I understand.
I understand, I just want to clear that thing up that they did improperly.
And if it was done improperly, that's just a contract from Shimon. Shimon still ruled that that original motion that was done in September was legal. And this process was legal. That's how it is.
Well, yeah, I'm not arguing about that,
But, and I'm not disputing it, but when that motion was made in September, or whenever this was, both Doug and I questioned whether it was legal to pay you severance pay. That was the issue that Doug went down to discuss with the lawyer, if it was legal to pay severance pay. The letter that come back from the lawyer confirmed that it was legal to pay him severance pay, but also changed the wording of how it was going to take place.
Not in essence, David. All the discussion at that September meeting was in that letter in some way or manner. Mr. Shimon merely made it a typical legal contract. Now, I didn't expect that myself. Mr. Dalton and I went, according to the board, by orders of the board, to go and just ask Mr. Shimon if what was going to happen was legal under the law. Can a public employee receive severance pay?
Yes.
That was done in September.
Okay.
You guys
Yes.
voted for it.
You don't have to pound your finger.
Well, I can see what's coming.
No, you can't, you can't see
You
what's coming.
can't see what's coming,
No, you can't see what's coming. Okay.
because it is an issue. The word termination, we didn't terminate you. You quit.
You terminated the position.
Don't change it.
No.
I said you quit.
You terminated the position.
No, wait a minute, no.
There you go.
No.
There's a point of order that you need to decide on before you discuss all this.
Yeah.
You need to clear up my point of order.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
So, well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait for legal opinion, because we should have had the attorney more involved when we started this whole thing.
See, because the
So,
old.
if he needs time, that's.
Well, no, the fact is that although for over 30 years I've represented the board, you chose to use Mr. Shimon and not me on this issue from the very beginning. And so, if that's what you did, it is grossly unfair for you to ask me to be involved in making a decision when I wasn't involved in it at all from day one. So, all I'm saying is, you should be talking to Mr. Shimon, not me, because I was not given the courtesy of knowing that this issue was going on. I take great pleasure of representing the sewer district successfully for over 30 years, but for some reason I wasn't involved in this decision, which is the sewer district's right. But to have me come to a meeting to work on what I've been doing and give this without knowing the facts, and Mr. Shimon has been advising you guys on this, it would be grossly unfair because of the nature of the discussions going on.
That's not what we're
between
talking
you.
about, though. What we're talking about is, okay, Tom has to leave, he has to go to a doctor's appointment. But
You'll still be here.
But that's a setup.
You'll still be here when I get back.
No, what we were asking you is to respond to Mr. Rob's assertion that the actions that took place between 7:30 and 8 o'clock, which is has been our typical board meeting time, and apparently I didn't know that it was not posted for 7:30. It was posted for 8 o'clock. The business that took place from 7:30 to 8. Was that legal?
That's
Well, that's the problem, is that the whole issue, which is the issue that you involved Mr. Shimon in, is the answer to the question that you have. Because the fact is that I have no idea why you were meeting at 7:30. I have no idea what the notice says. I have no idea that there was a dispute as I came here. I can tell you that generally speaking, the only people that are affected by an open meeting law decision are the people who have met illegally. And I don't think this board met illegally at 7:30, but there might have been a point of order that should have been raised. But I don't want to give a formal opinion on it because you had Shimon on this issue
No, I
from day
understand,
one.
I understand.
And the reality is that, nobody raised the issue, and I'm not sure that anybody from the public raised the issue. I guess our new board member has brought this up, but.
I'll tell you, let me explain to what happened, is that we, and I think we discussed at the meeting that we had no problem with you going forwards as the board's legal counsel.
Well, and I appreciate.
However, that our argument was before is that the board had no input in as to when you were called to do board business. In other words, the board wanted to know what and when you were being hired by the director. In
John?
other words, we weren't kept in the loop as to what was, what legal action, when you were hired.
But here's the issue. I appreciate it if I'm still doing the board's work. However, on this particular issue, since I wasn't involved in it at all,
Yeah.
I have to defer to Mr. Shimon.
Yeah, okay.
It's wrong of me to interject myself in something that I wasn't involved in from day one, and to give an opinion now. I have clients, well, I have one client who's did that, and it's wrong. I mean, if Mr. Shimon is your attorney and he's advising on this, he has to advise you on all aspects of it, including the issue that just got raised.
Okay, well, here's how that happened.
John, can I say something?
Yeah, okay, but.
In fairness to the board, when the question was brought up about getting legal, legal opinion, I said, and it's on my recorder, I don't care who you get. You can get Boyle, Shimon, or whoever you want. The person that selected Shimon is the one that should be being talked to. Period.
Yeah, it wasn't handled.
Because I told Doug, Doug, you can do what you have to. Go get a legal opinion. Because it was Doug and I that opposed the situation we were in because we didn't know if it was legal to give severance pay. And that's the only issue that's there. And as far as this meeting, it says right here on this, they brought the meeting to order at 8 o'clock. It says right on there, right in the paper there. Is that right, Doug?
I don't argue with anything.
I think you should just make a ruling.
At the September meeting, time came up of 7:30 to continue discussion regarding Shimon's opinion.
See,
Actually, that came up at a special meeting after that.
After.
After the information had already been posted for an 8 a.m. meeting. At your special meeting, you decided to start 30 minutes earlier, after everything's posted.
To get the information.
the board didn't make that decision, but actually, we're out of the,
Want to rule on that?
yeah, well, I can't actually rule on that, whether that's out of order or whether it's legal, illegal. That's something that we gotta maybe,
I think you should straighten it out. Just smooth it out. Make sure that what we did is okay.
well.
I think the matter should be tabled and the chair should contact the attorney that is involved in this to get a clarification. but I don't know how we can do this. There's a motion on the table right now to accept these minutes. I think a motion to table would be proper at this time, and I would so move to table this item and have the chair contact the attorney involved
We have,
for clarification.
yeah, but Don, we have a motion and second to accept the minutes, so let's go ahead and
I know,
do that.
but-
Okay, I have
And
one
I
more,
would be-
I only have one.
Yeah,
just one
okay,
more.
but concerning the minutes,
Okay, I have no problem with the severance pay, none whatsoever. The only thing I have the problem is with the wording termination. And that's,
yeah,
that's the
that's-
only clarification I would like to see, is we're not terminating.
Right, Mike, this is all about the minutes now, and to me, I will vote no on these minutes because this whole first paragraph is,
It is my understanding, Mr. Chair, that the termination referred to the position of executive director. And the discussion was that they were going to revise the responsibilities of the executive
that
director.
was never, no, and we made that clear. We made that clear that we weren't making those kind of decisions. I mean,
Mr. Chair, can I revise my motion then to exclude the top part of the minutes, starting with the 7:30 meeting of the executive director separation, down to and up to the chairman opened the meeting at 8 a.m.?
I don't know, because the guy that seconded it's not.
Who
here.
seconded it?
Tom.
This is a motion.
So,
Okay.
I think that.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, you have a legal,
Just on a point of procedure, John, I don't want to get into the merits of this issue, but, you know, when you have a motion and a second, a move to amend, you know, they either get that or they don't. It's not to, you know, it's part of that process.
Okay.
And you know,
Then the seconder of the motion does not have to be.
there has to be a second for the motion to amend.
Okay.
And then you vote on the amendment, it
Right,
either falls
okay.
or dies. You've been
Okay.
at a lot of meetings with me over the years, and
Yeah,
that's
no,
how
I
it
know
always go.
exactly.
I'm just
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
bring up your
Yeah.
memory on it.
Right, okay. Now, we need a motion to amend Don's original motion.
Just me?
I'll second.
Okay, Mike was first. So, motion to amend Don's original motion to include the exclusion of the first paragraph of the minutes from the official record. And we have a motion and a second for that. Okay, let's vote then on the amendment to the,
I have discussion. Did you say you wanted to go from the top of that paragraph all the way down to where it says the chairman opened the meeting at 8 a.m.? As I understood what you said?
I said, starting with the 7:30 meeting of the executive director's separation, down to and up to where the chairman opened the meeting at 8 a.m.
How can we exclude that when the motion by Billy and second by Worth, when that was acted upon? How can you remove that from the minutes when that actually happened? I can't.
We don't know if it was legal or not.
Well, I understand that, but either it is or it isn't, and we don't know,
We
but it
don't know,
happened.
but by excluding this, I would assume that it would be brought to the attorney to find out what the legal.
Well,
I think that's a legitimate, that
I
we
can't see how you
exclude
can
that part of
remove
it. And then we can include it at a later meeting if, put it back in the record. Okay, let's vote on this.
no,
Robert?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
No.
I vote yes.
who knows?
Now, I assume that
There was.
another motion would have to be, a another motion would have to be made to approve the minutes with this exclusion.
Right, that's the next one we vote on.
The motion as amended is now before the body.
Yeah.
And that motion as amended can be amended, or it can be voted on. That's the procedural posture.
Okay, we have any, no, we've already had our discussion on the original motion to accept the minutes. Let's go ahead and vote.
No. Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Right.
What was it? No?
Yes.
1, 2 yeses? Oh, 2 noes?
Yes.
Yes?
No.
Yeah, now it's tied.
4
Tight,
yeses.
yeah.
Hmm?
That's what I said, it's tight.
How can it be tied? There's 7 of us.
Pardon?
You didn't count. 4-3.
4-3.
4-3, it passes
Yes.
4-3. Okay, thank you. Okay. Oh, man.
You're only through the first paragraph.
Construction project update. Okay, Mark Hallen is here.
All right.
Probably, maybe the last time, huh, Mark?
Oh, well, maybe officially with Gritter, maybe for other things in the future, but yes, Gritter Construction did provide release of liens from Peterson of Bemidji, Minnesota, their major subcontractor here for plumbing and HVAC work, and then Northland Painting out of Duluth, who painted the inside of the digesters and did all the process painting. So those, I had received 72 lien waivers, early in September. Then I received these last 2, which earlier, a couple weeks ago, I forwarded to the district for their records. So, like I say, we've got all the release of liens in from there. Like I say, in both letters, I had a little discussion with John this morning. Like I say, I went to all the major players in the Wagner Construction was over $500,000 with all the concrete. They supplied all that ready mixed concrete. We had a lot of concrete here, so all the way going from automatic systems to the Selkirk's hardware in Duluth. So went through, and we even had some small miscellaneous ones. I'm not aware of anybody locally, talking to the board, talking to staff or anywhere that they haven't been paid for something. So I say there is no master list to go to. Yes, I went. Anybody that we had ICS 134, wage rates. There was about 13 or 14, major subcontractors on site. So of course I went through and checked against those, but not every little supplier that, had a truck hauling somewhere. As I pointed out to John, there was this one this morning for about $1,083. It was a lien waiver for just a local trucker who hauled a few loads for Gritter. So, they were pretty diligent with that. All right, and then we also have their release, or their consent from their surety company, that the surety company understands. You went through your whole issues last February with them. But that, final payment isn't being made, and they don't have a list or nobody's contacted them regarding, non-payment by, because that's typically what a subcontractor is gonna do. If they've not been paid, they're gonna file notice both with you, the owner, and the surety company or their bond company. Essentially, there's a performance and there's a payment bond. But they say the surety company has issued their release that says, they're fine with this district making final payment. As far as they're concerned. Point of order, though, we do have, we did have the letter from Gritter offering the $4,000 in credit to have you take care of the settled payment out at the full equalization basin site. Greg met with Carl Bowman out there, figured, he could do the work. I'm just gonna round the number off at $1,500. Gritter Construction offered $4,000 in their letter, so I do have change order number 24 that essentially lowers the contract price by $4,000 with Gritter's letter attached. That the amount he was willing to credit, for the district then handling the settled bituminous around the pump station at the structure at the full equalization basin. So that's just as far as point of orders, like I say, before we can look at the final payment application, and we also have this change order number 24 that just takes that $4,000 credit and lowers the contract amount. Then the final payment application, the biggest things are, we did have seating, the payment application we did way back, actually, in the fall of 2014, there were still seating items left. we had about $6,700 that we were withholding from their original contract. We had the $75,000 in retainage, plus, those seating items, that they have now completed. So, and then I don't know if everybody remembers, I had a $7 bust in the contract amount, even in mediation, that was, again, it was a $7 item, but did find out where Greer made the, it was change order 18 back in October of 2014 when they did the payment application. Instead of typing a 9, they typed a 2 in the dollar figure for change order 18, so that we found the $7. So just to make things correct for any accountant or anything, I do have, I just included a line item in my letter here, that payment application 30, change order 18, correction, about a $7 figure. Just, there was $7 that Gritter wasn't paid for that they should have been paid.
Mark, do we
Yep.
need a motion to approve change order number 24 for that paving?
Well, for the paving credit, correct. Yep.
Mr. Chair, I would so move to approve change order number 24.
Yeah, the motion's been made, and we haven't approved this before. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to do it again, make sure.
We did not approve.
No, I'm not having approval.
24?
Yeah, I prepared this yesterday, so that you haven't
Okay,
seen this
okay.
before, you couldn't have did anything to it.
Is there a second? All right, Robert seconds. I think maybe the confusion is we, in principle, we agreed.
Well, you agreed to the letter, yes.
Oh, we agreed. Okay, so we'll go ahead and vote on that right now then. All in favor?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 All right, so then, thank you, Don. I don't know if there's any other specific questions on the, this payment application, number 30. They say, actually, we're past the 15th, so Stacy, actually, this will be in December that she actually contacts the PFA for this release of monies, and then so, the contractor would not actually be paid till almost the first of the year, because we're past the 15th here of November for their cutoff date each month.
So as far as we know, this will be our last, we'll be able to final out this whole project.
Yeah, well, right, I mean-
Financial part of it.
Financial part, I mean, you do, your, I'll say your program with the PFA, right now you have to be finished with it by June of 2016. But, this will allow you to proceed with finalizing items out. You can say that one thing, remember last month, Chopper asked about the TMDL grant, still had, if I remember, it was around $22,000 left in grant monies. So I put on this letter that you will be able to claim another $15,750 of those grant monies. So essentially, out of the 2.2 million that you started with for potential grant dollars, we were able to capture, 2.1. I mean, less. There'll be less than, I'll say, $5,000 left out of that $2.2 million in grant dollars that you originally started with.
So, but we're gonna have to have your help in deciding if there is something that would comply with the TMDL.
The remaining.
The remaining, yes, I mean, from the standpoint of staff working with either Jordan Lee or Pat Conroy, yeah, the funding people who've been here from Straight John, yes, I mean, from the standpoint, they will continue to assist Stacy staff as needed to, supply information to Nancy Johnson as they finalize the overall figures and numbers with them.
So you're looking for a motion for the payment application number 34?
Which would be the final payment application for Gritter Construction. Yep.
Question, punch list all finished?
Yes, we finished the punch list. I mean, they still have a ladder, a gang box, some, there's some items they need to pick up. So, yeah, if they don't pick them up, then staff's just gonna send them off to that. So there are, so as far as punch list items, we have items, there's several items I'm working on with staff. Like we're having Lakeside send a new motor. So there's things we're working out with, suppliers. Or, there are items that we're not addressing in the contract. Like, we put that, staff put on the check valve on the pump station up at the filter building. That's installed. So, I mean, there's, I think the 13 items Greg had, I've got automatic systems sending a copy of the software on a CD. They said in principle. So, these are items that I'm continuing to work with staff on, but they are not related, in February of 2015, when we went through the mediation and had those final punch list items on there, those are the items we went through, and now, I issued the letter in September, with about 6 remaining items, and most of it was the landscaping and cleanup. And, and they went through those items.
I would so move to approve payment application number 34.
All right. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, would you like to check legal?
I would like to have Joe's opinion.
What's that?
I would like to have Joe's opinion.
The payment application includes a $7 adjustment you talked about in a correspondence I saw yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah. So as I have seen what has gone on, is that in the opinion of the engineer, this huge project of what was the gross sum, Mark?
Roughly 12.2 million.
12.2 million has been completed in accordance with the contract. And as you know, there has been a long series of history, and this board, through a committee, entered into mediation, and we got a very decent settlement in that mediation of $325,000 because the project was late. And we also had the commitment of that we would hold on to $75,000 as they pursued following the punch list, which we knew had to be done. And I think a lot of us anticipated that this vote would be coming prior to this date, but somehow, because they didn't have the lien waivers and things like that, it is finally in front of us. So that is a great and important part of the history of this district, because we entered into such a large contract, and according to the engineer and I believe staff, this contract has been completed. It took a long time, a lot of actions of the board and the staff and the executive director, but we're here today. And it's always frustrating to hear that there's this de minimis thing about ladders and stuff, which actually I didn't hear about till now. But the fact is that we'd spend more money discussing moving that ladder than we would of getting them to do it. So I think that you have to take the engineer's recommendation. I would know of no legal basis why we shouldn't accept the engineer's recommendation, and congratulate the board and the staff and the executive director for a job well done, because it has been completed. There's sometimes these projects of such great amount don't get done, and this one has been done, which is due to everyone's diligence.
Steve.
Sorry, I just had a question on, okay, once we finalize this, if there was any landscaping that's been done recently, is that gonna, and then all of a sudden next spring it doesn't take effect? Can you think of anything, Jeff? That, I know there was some erosion on one of the hills over here behind the plant. I don't know if that's something that's been.
Right offhand, without taking a walk around the whole area again
Yeah.
and look at things, no, I can't
The
say
flood,
anything
the
right
flood
offhand.
walls looks, have you been down to that at all?
It seemed holding up pretty good with the seeding and stuff that was done on the riverside with that.
The driveway going through over here to the neighboring properties?
Yeah, they fixed that up late this fall, they fixed that up. And
Yeah, that was one of the, I don't know why it took them a year to do, but
Yeah.
after we kind of read them, the riot act, then they actually came in and made it look like a lawn instead of a field, so.
Unfortunately, we've run into this problem before, like with the lawn, and see if some grass fails to take off, we just, and in this case, we came out with a good settlement, so there's plenty of money in there to fix this stuff ourselves.
Well, I'll offer, right now you do have that $4,000 figure. You actually have a couple $1,000s left over. I would highly recommend, yes, use that money next spring, and if you got a few site items you want to address, Jeff down there, no wells, we have a few ruts and bumps that could be fixed. I would, to me, that's part of a project, and you should be able to complete it that way.
Yeah, that's normal, I think, it's normal type thing, so, okay, well,
Who was second, Mr. Chairman?
yeah.
Who was the second? Jim?
Yeah. So, okay, that takes care of that, and Joe's given her opinion, you're on the clock again.
Well, no, I agree with the engineer and the staff and the executive director that we should approve the project, and it's a great accomplishment.
Yeah, we have to vote.
Yeah, we got to vote on the motion to accept the payment application number 34.
34.
And so we can go ahead and vote?
Yes.
I vote yes.
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 Yes. And yes.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you,
Yeah,
Mark.
thank you, Mark. It's been a tough slog, huh? And how many contractors were there? How many vendors, on this whole project? Hundreds of them, I suppose.
Well, we have 74 release of liens, I mean, that tells you, those were, firms that were either on site working or supplying substantial products to the project, I think there was probably, but there was, of the 74, there was, I want to say, 25 to 30 of them were, in Kooch County here, so, there were, like say, with Wagon Construction being one, obviously, the largest subcontractor from the area due to all the concrete, so. Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you, Mark.
thank you. All right, thank you, Joe. Are we ready to move on to a list of disbursements?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded to pay the list of disbursements. Is there any discussion? Any questions about the,
Third page, Red Valve Company, plant maintenance overflow check. Is that for the EQ? Do you know, Jeff? Overflow check?
Overflow check to be for that lift station 2 right in the plant, that new one they put in.
Oh,
That's the one that we installed here last month sometime.
to improve the hydraulic characteristics of the plant when in high flow conditions,
oh, okay.
basically.
We haven't done a check at the EQ then. There's supposedly a check going over there.
Not to my knowledge, any check valves going in over at the equalization station.
Something about that 12-inch line or the...
Not to my knowledge.
Not a full equalization.
No, well, okay. Does that answer your question then, or?
The 12-inch line I think you're talking about, Steve, is the one out of that lift station 2 here at the plant.
That's a reduction.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know of any check or flapper valve from down at EQ that needs to be installed.
I thought there was a problem with the one size of a line over there at the EQ.
No, was his plant.
That was in the plant?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was easy then.
Okay,
What's this one with Carol, that H-A-U-G-E Consulting? Carol Hay, is it Howell?
Carol Howdy.
What's that
She
consulting
is
for?
our spare, she comes in when we need extra help in the office. She's a former executive assistant, I think we call her.
What did she do?
She's a contract worker. She does the administrative assistant work when Stacy's not here. Also, when there's a huge billing from East Kooch, she'll come in. East Kooch pays part of the rate. It's $30 an hour contract.
I mean, it's something that, it's backup, I mean, it's insurance, Okay, any other questions on disbursements? Okay,
That,
all right, Mike?
on the income and expense,
You're not there yet, Mike.
Not
there yet.
Yeah, this is just the bills to be paid for this month.
Mr.
All
Chair,
right,
if you don't need me anymore, I'll leave, or do you want me to stick around?
no, I don't,
All right.
I think we'll, yeah, we'll need you in the future.
Yeah, no, I'll be glad to help. Thank you. Congratulations again.
I have a
Okay,
question on boot allowance. Okay, the employees are allowed $200?
Every 2 years. $100 a year and can carry over 1 year.
Okay. So if they don't expend that $200 in 2 years,
They only get a maximum of 200 every 2
They
years.
have
they
200.
can't carry the balance over till...
They have 200. They,
Okay.
5 years, they have $200.
Clock starts every 2 years. Okay. I
You know,
was curious, because there are
actually,
some...
that boot allowance is kind of justified, I think, more so here than Other places, because it's very corrosive environment, you know.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, that's $100 a year is probably not enough. And you go through a pair of boots a year, and a good pair of boots is probably $200.
Steel toe, good pair
Yeah.
of boots is 175 to 200 bucks.
Yeah.
okay,
Can
are
we
we,
vote on this?
ready to vote?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're ready to vote, Don. Jim?
Yes.
Yes.
I vote yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I vote yes. Okay, financial reports. Okay, the financial reports are there's three documents here. They're helpful. One of them tracks is a comparison of last year's expenditure versus this year's. It's kind of helpful. And that's 3 pages itself, four pages, right? And the next one is our financial health report. Investments, that's normally. Okay, and then the third document there that you see is, sometimes this document is helpful, but it doesn't tell everything because it all depends on the time of the year that a bill is paid. So with all three documents, so it gives you some good information.
So moved to approve the financial report.
Motion made by Don, is there a second?
Second.
Dave, seconds. Any discussions? I know you haven't had a chance to,
Anytime Vin wants to come in and sit with Stacy, right?
no, just while we're, have you given your email address? You'd like to receive this stuff prior to the meeting by email, right? Okay. All right, now we're ready to vote.
I just got a question though, on this income expense budget versus actual. Seems to be a lot of under budget, a lot of red. And I don't know, I guess it goes to almost $190,000 for under budget. And where does that extra money go? Or that's just, there's no extra money, it's just, the budget was just began.
Budgeted money that we didn't spend,
Okay.
which is good.
All right, any other questions? Okay. I see this guy's still reading down there. Ready to vote? Yes?
Yes.
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 No.
Vote yes. One no vote. Steve Blair. Okay, old business. All right, there's consideration to reduce debt service for October, November, December to entities based on final numbers.
Mr. Chairman, we discussed it, but we never took action. And staff advised the board, and I think the board agreed through just some conversation to have Stacy bill the entities October, November, and December what the new monthly payment will be starting January 1st. It's a reduction. We know it's a reduction of what the entities have to pay.
Just because that we finalized out the project now, we know what our debt service payment is going to be, and it might be it's going to be a little bit lower.
It'll go from, the city will go from 75 to 52, approximately,
Okay,
on the debt service.
on the debt service part of the bill. The bill is composed of O&M costs plus debt service costs. Okay? And so, And all this is based on the gallonage, so much per gallon. Now, let me ask this one now, the 50 cents, in order to get a better loan, a better rate from the PFA, which is a state authority that gives out this money, we had to promise that we would charge 50 cents per 1,000 gallons billing
Yes,
in order to set up a capital program, capital savings account
For improvement.
for improvements at some unknown later date. So that's, we don't know the specifics of that yet. I'd like to find out.
well, it's hopefully set up in the future that it can be enough to replace train A. That's the 86, 85 train.
So is that 50%, or is that 50 cents? Now, is that considered part of O&M, or is that considered part of debt service?
Separate, and it
Separate,
has to
okay,
be
then
separate
that is a separate.
by law.
Okay. Are we ready to,
These numbers that we're referring to right now, this 200,000, where does it show on our statement? Where is it? I mean, is it in a budget or in a line item specified for capital improvement? Or is it in our general fund?
Under the affluent treatment in his income. And it's just kept in the general.
it's kept in the general fund?
Unless I'm moving the 50 cents per 1,000 gallons, that had to be separate, and that is separate.
Okay.
And
That's
where
a
is
lift
it?
fund.
Where
That
does
is
it show it, Stacy? That's been for 3 years now, 4 years, 10 years?
Where's the banking page?
I mean, at $200,000 a year, we should have a big bunch of money somewhere.
We do. And,
Shouldn't that be kept in a separate account?
it is.
What was that originally called, the WIF?
Yep.
WIF?
It is.
It is. Which one is it here?
301.5?
Under, so that's just.
Surcharge?
You don't have to find it today, Stacy,
I mean, I can show you the bank
No, I mean-
statement right now.
but I would like to see it
Yeah.
next month. The big question I have, when we're talking surcharge, what's included in the surcharge? What do we use the surcharge for?
We have 2 payments a year we have to make for the debt service.
No.
And the first one payment is interest and principal, and the other one is interest. That has to be done February and August. And that just, we write a check. That money is in our fund, but it is, we monitor it, but it is in our general, it's in our money. But it's there. And I've figured that the additional maintenance and the future director can build that into the budget in the future and take it out, but in the debt service, we feel an additional 90,000 was needed for expenses that we didn't have before, in particular ferric and electricity additions. And then there's a mandatory 50 cents per thousand that is being monitored, and it runs anywhere between $200,000 and $215,000 a year. That goes into a separate account. That can't be, it can be touched by board, but it has to be, you'll have to get the okay from PFA. And again, it's meant, because there's no more free money, it's meant to build up and be enough to repair the plant.
But you were overcharging
What's that?
on the flows.
Can't we get that money back? You didn't pay too much?
When?
Well, I mean, your flows were higher than anticipated, right? Than they were, so you should be able to get that money back, didn't you?
You mean this year, you mean?
Yeah. But, you know, Chopper, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, that PFA money that we write a check for, that makes that $350,000 payment, that's money that is in another pocket, so to speak. We don't have it in our pocket.
Yes, we do.
We apply for it, then they give it to us.
That's all done, that process is done. Of getting money from the PFA, I mean, we were getting this last little bunch from 34, from change order 34.
Okay,
There might, and you do have money in at PFA if you want to go after it. But what we're paying is what PFA figures at the percentage interest, which is like 2+, that you owe us $451,000 this year, and we want it in 2 payments. And that comes out of our general fund, because that money is coming in from flows. We're not getting any more from PFA. It's all flow money that's coming in.
no, I understand that, but what I'm talking about, the surcharge, you're getting, I think, you're getting the surcharge
Yeah.
from flows.
I can't correct you because you're right. The surcharges is a separate payment charge to each entity. Flows are for operations, but the district has put in to each entity a responsibility for a debt service, and that debt service is a trifecta. That's the payment, that's the capital improvement, and that's the additional approximate money we need for additional maintenance and operation.
I would like to see in the future, though, that this surcharge be only for the debt.
The debt service.
The debt service and all the rest of that, the remainder of the surcharge, which is operating
Expenses.
Operating O&M, that be in the regular,
And a $2.05 charge.
well, which is.
I just said that can be done at a later date, but it's, because it was thrust on us, that's what I figured out it would be. So,
Yeah.
next year, the new director or whoever can build that into the regular budget
Yeah,
somewhere.
and it's very simple to do that, so.
Not an issue. Not an issue.
That way it'll clarify things going forward, what's debt and what's O&M. What's O&M costs.
I have a question. What you've been talking about, is that all what it's called, treatment surcharge, plant rehabilitation? Is that the item?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you've been discussing, okay.
It's debt service plus.
See, Jim, it was $936,000 for 3 years. Then it was reduced to $652,000 this year, or 16 or 17. But the payment, and this is why I asked about it, the payment by itself is $355,000. And a surcharge for International Falls, it's 600 and some thousand bucks. And what I'm asking is, where is the money between the 355 and the 600 and some coin? He's answered me. It's going into operation and maintenance, and I don't think it belongs there. We should be putting it on the bill so everybody is paying,
So,
you know.
Robert raised
That's all I
the
say.
point about if high flows and then we gain, I'd like to know, and maybe the director knows this, is can we do early repayment on some of our debt service? In other words, to reduce our debt with, if we see we have a comfortably high reserves, cash reserves, can we pay back
I think-
early and reduce the,
I think you can, it's something you should look at next year.
No, there isn't.
Robert's right.
You can pay it back tomorrow.
But I do think that you have to talk to
Okay,
Nancy.
okay, well,
Johnson.
that's fair.
You should maybe form or give somebody that on the board to help the director in the future and the administrative assistant get that nailed down for board consideration. You're gonna have to contact Nancy Johnson, you're gonna have to get legal involved, but yeah, I do believe that Robert's right, it can probably be paid.
Yeah, shouldn't be that tough. If it's legal to do. Okay, now I think we should vote on that, consideration to reduce debt service. I mean, we give the go-ahead to,
Just give October, November, December, the
I
2016
don't know if
rates.
you need a motion on that.
well, I mean, you know, I mean.
Yeah, we do.
If you need a motion, I'll also move.
Okay,
Consideration to reduce debt service.
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll get the letters off.
All
There we
right,
go.
let's vote on that
And
then.
that'll be like in something in black and white, because I don't know how that all washes out with what has been discussed here. I mean, how much are we gonna reduce it with the debt service? Is there a
It's
dollar?
just consideration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no dollar figure or nothing like that.
If you look at the budget, what we figured was Rainier's responsibility in debt service, Steve, you'll see that it's less probably than 2015. And
Alright.
so their monthly responsibility will be less. They've already contacted us on that.
All right, let's vote on this then.
Yes.
I vote yes.
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 Robert.
No vote, one no vote.
MCU?
Okay, punches,
No, who voted no?
Did anybody vote no?
No.
No, that's you.
all right, punch list items. Did we didn't get a copy of the punch list, or we discussed it? Is everybody happy with what discussion about punch list? All right. Okay, old business explanation of HRA. Okay. Now, there's a policy statement. Health reimbursement account?
Yep.
Okay, you're familiar?
Yep.
Okay. I think that there,
The resolution.
we're comfortable with that. I have a question about the bookkeeping system for that. How is that actually done?
In a spreadsheet, I put $100 in the first of the month. When they hand in their HRA slip, I take it off of their total. When they have over 24 hours in comp time, Greg brings me his spreadsheet with any additional time to go in. If you want to look at the spreadsheet, you can look.
Oh, okay, now, no.
No, that don't have nothing to do with that.
That's right.
But my question was,
That's a big deal.
Comp time,
Uh,
because we're short of staff all the time, we made a decision that the guys can't accrue more than 24 hours comp time off.
that's-
But they are working a lot of overtime, so we put that into their HRA.
Oh,
So they can only have 24 hours of time off. Any of that time, which is their overtime pay, because they don't get overtime pay, goes into their HRA.
where's it?
Next
I
week.
read, go ahead. Since you-
No, I'm good.
All right.
So,
Is there a descriptive package that explains to the layperson how the North Kooch's HRA program works?
It's allowed by the federal government for medical.
No, I
professionals. We
understand
follow
that.
the- That's what we
No,
follow.
that's not what I'm asking.
Okay.
I'm asking you for the word that says you can put comp time into HRA. I believe that's illegal. I don't believe you can put a 1 hour 1 minute of pay into HRA.
Well, if that's true, Dave, please bring it to us.
Yeah, well, I don't have to, that's what I'm asking you. I talked to an individual yesterday that said, if an employee such as Mr. Clow wants to put $500 of his money into HRA, that is legal. But wages are not.
Okay, I think maybe that's where we need to get a,
I mean, and all I'm saying is, you know,
yeah.
if it's a mistake, it's a mistake, and we have to correct it.
Well, yeah, and keep in mind that, again, because we're short-staffed, the guys shouldn't be able to carry over 24 hours, so they have to be then paid overtime.
Oh,
You have to.
you know something? A year ago, I have told this board that we shouldn't have comp time. Them guys should be getting paid overtime. And if somebody would have listened to that time, you wouldn't be having this problem right now.
Well, that problem.
If it is a problem.
That problem will go away with that board, with the board. That problem will go away, if that's what your wishes are.
I'm talking about the last 5 years.
Well, that's,
Well,
This just started, this was accepted on 11/4/13 by the board
Yeah.
and the HR committee. So it hasn't.
And I don't dispute it, but I mean, my belief is when we as the board do things, we really don't look at if there's going to be repercussions or if it's legal or not. We had legal counsel at that time. Our legal counsel should have looked into it, or should have been asked to look into it, or do something and come back and say, can we do it? That's all I'm saying. And I would like an audit from June or January 1st of 2011 till this month to see how much money has been deposited in there that they've used that they can't legally use. I mean.
In October of 2013, motion by Burr, second by Mason to accept revised comp time form contingent on legal input. Motion carried. So let's look into the next month.
To solve it, Stacy, instead of you reading all that things, why don't we go to the League of Minnesota Cities and get an opinion from them? And also from a firm in Duluth or Cloquet that handles these HRA programs. And that will solve the problem. Because we have one person, and I didn't want to say this, but I'm telling you, we have one person that is way overdrawn. The maximum amount of money that can be in that account, any one account today, would be $5,800 as of the end of October. That's the maximum. This one individual, yes, that's the maximum. $100 a month is 58 months old. One person has drawn $10,649 out of that. Legal or not, that's abusing the system.
According to this, it is accepted by the LMC, League of Minnesota Cities.
But not that specific question.
Okay, then.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, then what we're looking for is to refer this to our attorney.
Yeah, get a legal opinion of it.
I would so move that this matter be turned over to our attorney for his legal opinion.
Okay, the motion was that this be turned over to the attorney for his legal opinion. And we have a motion, is there a second? And have discussion.
who was the motion in a second?
Roberts, Don made the motion.
Robert, but I wanted it to the League of Minnesota Cities. Don't we pay them money, Chopper?
On November 4th, 2013,
I see that letter, I've seen it.
The director contacted the League of Minnesota Cities about revised comp policy. And I sent this to Joe and sent it out to the League of Minnesota Cities. I recall getting that, what we were doing was copacetic, but I don't know what I'm supposed to tell you. But if you want us to go further, we
Yes,
can.
and the only reason, Chuck, the only reason is comp time. They're not paid comp time. Right in our books, it says comp time is returned hours. They're not paid cash. Okay, they get them comp time hours off, or however. But in order for you to, I believe, to be legal, he has to put that cash money into his HRA. He can't put a check from North Kooch.
He's not.
No, well,
It just assimilates into his HRA.
yeah, but it's comp time.
Yeah.
You're telling him this man is owed.
No, yeah.
You're telling me, and this man is owed an hour and a half comp time, therefore, you put in $45 in his HRA. That's not legal, I don't think. Because it says
That's why we're sending it to the attorney for,
yeah.
to find out.
And who are we going to, Sherman or Boyle?
Boyle's our attorney.
Well, you be specific, please.
Oh, you wanted to go to League of Minnesota.
I wanted to go to the League of Minnesota Cities. Aren't we paying attorneys down there to come up with
We're members of the
this
League of Minnesota.
with this specific question? Can they use comp time as cash? Basically, I guess is what I'm saying. I mean, I just don't understand.
Okay, you would say our attorney, I mean, basically, we have League of Minnesota City's attorney, and we have Mr. Boyle. So, either one would, probably
Send it to
satisfy
both
you.
of them.
Yeah.
If
To further
you
explain what
go
I'm
to, if you go
saying.
to Boyle, he has a lot of inroads with the League of Minnesota Cities.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah,
But to further explain how my mind works, that $500 cash has already been taxed. That comp time is not taxed.
Well, it's.
And this program is run by the IRS. And if the IRS gets their fingers in somebody's pocket, they're.
No, I mean, this is a real legitimate question, I think, and I think that's the solution to it, Mike.
Okay, I'm kind of lost on it, but isn't there, why don't we hire, if possible, hire a firm to take care of our HRA? If there is a firm out there do it, not handle it in-house, hire a firm that does it and let them,
The city does it.
Huh?
The city has a firm, you know that.
right, so why don't we look, I don't have no idea what it would
He might
cost.
not know it.
There's a
but
price.
I do.
There's a price
Yeah. You know what it costs?
What?
$35 a month.
Per person.
No. $5 a person.
$5 a person in the city.
Is there a
And
buy-in?
here, I talked to the man yesterday.
Is there
If
a
I
buy-in?
don't-
Is there a buy-in fee first, though?
$350 too. He will come up and set up a readable policy. And then after that, that costs $350, and then it costs $5 per employee. After that,
Per month.
per month, yeah.
So is that,
Nothing to do with the motion that's on the table. That could be brought up
No,
after.
No, I'm not, I'm trying to explain
Yeah, I
something
know.
and we're.
Yeah, well, it's a germane point. I mean,
so that
let's,
350 is a one-time deal?
okay, we can vote no on the motion and then have another motion to hire a firm. I mean, you got your choice.
If you just wanna hire a firm and then it's copacetic.
But I mean, you know, the thing is, you move too fast, you know what happens.
Maybe this should go to the HR committee.
Motion's on the table to send it
Motion's
to
on the
the
table.
attorney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call for the question.
Yeah, let's get
Yeah.
opinion.
That's what we're gonna do, we're gonna vote on it now.
I just had one question on that secretary's comp earnings, number 2. 1 hour for each hour worked beyond her normal workday, up to 40 hours a week. Well, her normal is 35 hours a week, so 7 hours a day. So if you work 8 hours a day, you get 1 hour comp time? Or 1.5 hours?
1 up to 40.
Under 40 hours, it's 1 hour.
Okay, so if you worked 8 hours for,
If she worked 42 hours in 1 week, 2 hours would be time and a half.
time and a half, so it'd be 3 hours. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, the motion's on the table.
Doug, can you tell us the motion?
Go ahead.
What is the motion again?
Motion
Refer this matter with the information that is on record with this organization to the attorney and to the League of Minnesota Cities
Just send it
for
to
their
the attorney.
legal opinion.
Let's send it to the attorney. Joe has got,
No,
Minnesota City.
League of Minnesota City, just like he said. I don't want anything changed.
Joe has all the ins. He can make all the
Copper.
contacts.
I don't want anything changed. Send it to Joe and the League of Minnesota Cities like he said, like the motion goes. Because things get changed down the road.
Okay, Tom is coming back. Tom is now here at the meeting. We got a motion and a second on the table, Tom. The discussion has been about the HRA and probably more specifically on how the comp time situation works with the HRA. And the assertion is made is that it's not really legal to do it this way. And so, the motion on the table says that we will send this particular policy paper here to the attorney for his review. And then after we get done with that vote, I assume that we're going to talk about sending or hiring a firm that does this kind of thing. I guess I didn't know anything about this, to tell you the truth. That there are companies that handle the HRA policies. And
Okay,
I
the,
think we should vote on the motion.
we're going to vote on the motion, Don,
And-
getting him up to speed on it, on what's going on here.
He'll be brought up to speed after.
But, you know,
No, you're right.
no, it's
You're
not
right.
funny. It's
Bring
not
him up
funny,
to
Don.
speed.
It's not funny. Okay?
I know it's not funny.
Yeah, but you sit there and you laugh. and-
Right, because we have a motion and a second on the table. Vote on that motion and
How
then
can
it's
Tom-
done.
how
Then
can-
you can explain what you're talking about and
How-
hiring a firm.
How can you vote on it?
Can you explain to Tom what he's voted on? Before or after?
We're voting, maybe I'm dense, but we're voting on sending this information on
These
these.
people are, but he didn't read that. He hasn't been brought up to speak.
If he has a question on it, he should bring it forth.
It's very important that Tom get it, because he's very instrumental in helping draft this policy. I don't remember doing this myself, I must not have been here.
The original thing started with Jack Murray was the chairman for the original, when we instituted it. And this part here was something that was done afterwards. I don't know what,
John, you were at the HR meeting when this decision was made.
I was?
Yeah.
I don't remember, that's all I'm
I
saying.
don't remember a lot of stuff too. You're old.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I know we do this, but I didn't just, I can't remember either. I'm old too. But yeah, go ahead and vote.
but I mean, I have one more question.
All right,
Okay, so we're allowed to get up to $6,000 in the HRA, right?
That's how much is contributed every year.
According to
Doesn't
this.
have a cap.
The maximum we can.
It doesn't have a depth, it says it's approved, I pointed that out to Mr. Farmer last week.
That's his call. No.
Okay, Mr. Farmer, are you,
There, on that particular thing, when you look back in your own records, there's years you only donated $4,800. The 6,000, I assume, and so does this person I talked to, was based on the amount of employees you had in that specific year. That's why he said they have to have, and he emphasized have to have, a description of how the money is going to be deposited in whose account, when, and how much.
Well, this is the guy who works for the city with HRA.
No, he works for his own company. He owns the company. His name is John Wolverton. And, but what he's saying, to get 6,000, you got 5 employees at $1,200 a year. That's 6,000 bucks. It says 6,000 per year. You can't get to 6,000 per year if you're only paying the employee $100 a month. It only comes to $1,200. So either the $100 is wrong, or the 6,000 is wrong. He said in the case of International Falls, when you were on the council, you people got $500 a month for HRA, and then that was changed. So all them numbers have to be in a package that somebody can read, an auditor, an accountant, and they have to be in an isolated package. If I've got $5,000 in that account, that has to be kept track of. It's all got to be kept track of for each employee.
It is.
Okay. And it can only get to $1,200 a year per employee. So if you work 58 months, there can only be a maximum of $5,800 in that account, period. If they haven't taken a dime out. And they can take the $5,800 out at the end of that month for legal expenses. And that's all controlled by the IRS. It's not a state rule, it's nothing.
well, you know, it sounds like you know what you're talking about. And I think the question is, do you want to vote to let the attorney do it? And what's germane to this whole vote here now is whether if we vote no, then, if we vote yes, then we just send it to Boyle and the league. If we vote no, then there's a possibility that somebody might bring up another motion to hire an independent firm to handle our HRA account. So we can do both as well. We can vote yes on the motion, send it to the attorney, and then explore, you know, the private firm idea. So, I mean, you know, we could wait on this. Or do
No,
you
let's
want-
vote on sending it to the attorney. Let's get that done.
I'd like to make one comment.
Okay, one more comment.
Whether or not there was any wrongdoing, I mean, that's why we hire auditors. You know, wouldn't you think the auditors would pick up on something like that? I don't know if they review our HRA policies and balances.
Steve,
I don't think that's part of their,
It is, because he
Call
goes
it-
through
They
them
go
line by
through
line.
line by line, absolutely.
they do go by line. Talk to the auditor. He'll explain. John, Steve, I'm telling you something, because I've talked to the auditor. They're not in the business to find something wrong. They will say in the audit, in the thing, there's a deficiency. And then that deficiency is supposed to be brought to the board and ruled on. and then there's a letter sent back to the auditor, and if there's nothing there that the board feels illegal, there's nothing done. But it's not the auditor's position, he's only to,
But they do put an opinion about deficiency, they've never mentioned a deficiency regarding HRA.
well, I can argue that, but they got other.
I suggest that we could vote on this, get this to the attorneys, vote on that. And the attorneys will not be charged with changing anything here until we, give them the go-ahead. And
Yes.
they'll just rule on whether this is legal or not.
Dumping money from comp into
Okay, is that about where we're at here now? This is very important stuff. Okay, ready to vote? This is to hire the attorney.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes?
No.
Yes.
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 yes. Okay, when we get something back from them, then we can choose to,
I'd like to make a motion
okay,
to hire an outside firm to take care of our HRA account, starting in 2016.
I'll second that.
okay? Any discussion on that?
But why are we going to our attorney to get a clarification? Why are we paying him money if we're gonna, I would think that the new firm would be able to set it up legally. So why are we paying an attorney money to give us an opinion about what we're doing is okay? If at the first of the year, we're gonna go to some company, which I suppose would set it up correctly.
If it was run wrong in the past, Jim,
But I
and
understand that,
you
but
paid too much money into it, what are you gonna do with the money that you paid too much into it?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Mr. Chairman, I agree with Jim. I think we should get our opinion first. I'm not saying I'm against the motion. I'm just saying we get the opinion first, and then maybe we act, maybe we don't.
Do you think the
Yeah.
opinions will come in before the next month's meeting? LMC?
League's anywhere between 2 and 3 weeks usually.
Okay.
I know that this was set up to follow what the city was doing, because if we used the city's plan to set up ours in the first place. So my impression was we were doing the same thing the city was.
yeah, I do nothing about this myself.
But if you're gonna save money, if you go with $35.
With Tom, the city had 3 HRA accounts. Which one did you want to go with? One, give them $500 a month?
Oh, no, we set the amount. And the board
No,
said-
you said you wanted to do what the city wanted to do. That's what I'm saying. Did you study all 3 accounts?
Yeah, well, I'm sure we had knowledge of all 3, but we passed $100 a month at the time. And at the time, it was a trade-off, because we had done a salary agreement with employees that didn't work out, so it put them kind of in a backwards position, and it was part of an agreement with the employees to resolve the issue. That's how it happened. That's how HRA got started.
But no, Tom, I'm all for the employees having an HRA account if they need it. But I am not for abusing it.
You know,
I'm a taxpayer, and I don't want anybody abusing my money.
You're still gonna pay more.
I don't have a problem with the HRA committee. The only thing is, I don't understand how comp time goes into the HRA. I don't understand that part.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask you a question? Comp time, are you gonna put it into additional individuals' ability to take time off? And we didn't like that because we're short-staffed anyway. So we had a kind of a conundrum. What do? We owe them money, and David, all you guys work. If you work, you feel you're owed that money. We looked at it, and the HRA is that we're not paying out an immediate amount every month, so the district is kind of making out a little bit. The money's kind of sitting there and not doing anything unless it's demanded. But if you don't allow this in comp, or if it's illegal, then you're paying them overtime. Or you're not gonna have enough people here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it says up to 6,000, you know, if there was an amendment or something major that they could have more than that in there. I don't have a problem if it's legal, but I mean, I've never heard of kind of going into
See,
the HRA.
and when I tell you that IRS, when they get figuring in there, and there's somebody spending money that they're not paying taxes on, what do you think they're going to do?
Well, they're paid, everything that comes through here, Stacy and I both look at, we've denied a lot of stuff. That is
No,
not,
but forget that, I'm talking the comp time.
Right.
The
Right.
comp time is what I think is illegal to be put in an HRA fund. Because they're not putting, the employee
pre-tax
is
dollars.
not putting cash in it.
Yeah, yeah.
The cash is taxed, already been taxed. The comp time isn't taxed.
Yeah, no, that's
When
very
they take the
legitimate.
comp time out, the cash out, isn't it taxed then?
Say that again.
When they take the money out of HRA, is it not taxed?
It's non-taxable.
No, that's non-taxable. That's medical expense.
HRAs are not taxable.
See, if you get paid $100, guaranteed Uncle Sam's gonna get $30 in tax out of that $100.
Eventually.
Yeah. If you put that $100 into an account that he can't tax, he's lost $30. He ain't gonna let that go.
that's
Well, I think
the
why
idea
we
behind
sent
it.
to
I
the
guess,
attorney in the League of Minnesota Cities to find out the legal aspect of it.
Yep.
I think the biggest, and David, you're right on this, maybe the biggest legal question is, can comp time be put into an HRA? Otherwise,
That's
the
right.
idea behind an HRA is good.
Yes.
Good for the district,
100%
it's good for the guys.
100% good.
But that's, I think that's probably the legal one question that will cure this whole thing.
And the reason I say this, I mean, when I'm looking at that number, that should be no more than $5,800, and it's $10,649, that bothers me. Where did the money come from? And if it's coming from comp time, which I believe is illegal, then we have a problem.
Yeah. All
Well,
right,
and
Steve.
I think the original resolution for the HRA was $100 a month, assuming 5 employees at $6,000 a year.
Yeah.
So each employee cannot withdraw more than $1,200 a year, because that's all he has in the bank.
Well, if you've been there 4
No,
years,
it
you
says
get
it can,
4,800.
it says it can accrue.
Hmm?
It says it can accrue.
Yeah.
It can accrue, and it's portable after a retirement or whatever. They can
Yeah.
take that with them and use it for healthcare.
Yep. Can't be pooled, but it can be, after they retire,
No,
they can draw out what they've got in it.
I'd like to see, you know, our past motion about legal opinion. I'd like to see, if it's okay, have the attorney look at the Fair Labor Standards Act and see whether, you know, this whole comp time, overtime pay thing is, how that fits into the Minnesota Fair Labor Standards Act. I know it's changed over the years. It used to be, an employer could pay in comp time to a salaried employee. Then later on, I think it became a choice for the employee to either take the comp time or the overtime pay. So that's very important too, you know.
Is our comp time been running kind of high?
Not lately. I mean, we had it when it was bad. The guys have gotten it under control now.
But we voted on it, so we're
Yeah.
arguing about it.
Right, okay, now we got another motion.
But nobody seconded it.
No, not Mike.
Mike seconded it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Pardon me, I'm sorry.
I have one question. What was your motion stated again? You wanted to?
I would like to make a motion to put our HRA with an outside,
Would you be up for amendment to amend that motion to research what that organization would do for us before we just jump?
Yeah.
Your motion says we're just gonna do it. I'd like to know what they're gonna offer us before we.
yeah, but I'm only, I want the motion to hire an outside, not a specific one,
Okay.
just an outside contractor that can take care of our HRA requirements.
How about this as a friendly motion, that we request RFPs, request for proposal of 1, 2, 3 companies
Whatever,
that do this?
whatever, yeah.
Would you accept that as a
Oh, sure.
friendly?
I'd
would you-
amend that motion to go out for an RFP to see what's out there.
Okay? Is that okay with you guys?
We don't necessarily have to have it done by January 1st.
No.
I'd like to know what.
If you, to get 3 people in here regarding an FRP, it's gonna take any, from 30 days to 45 days. So you should hear from them personally.
No, it's
Okay,
a start,
you-
it's a
okay,
start.
you
You
ready to?
guys do what you want, I'll vote for it.
All right.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Got it.
Okay,
You want to amend it?
vote on the motion as amended.
The motion as amended, yes, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I got a discussion. Now, a request for RFPs. Now, there was discussion earlier that the city goes out and hires outside people to do it for them.
Yes.
Would there be someone from the city that could come and talk to us about how it's handled, or would that, you know?
I would suggest that we send one request for proposals to them.
I mean, they do our payroll.
Yeah.
Should that go to the HR committee and then let them work on it?
No. No, it should, if we're going to hire somebody to do our job, that's what we should be talking about, not HR committees, not something else.
I understand that, David, but was all 8 people gonna go look for people to come in here?
Well, the thing is, that some of us are gonna be missing meetings here now. We're gonna be gone and
The director will go out for the RFP.
I'll go for RFPs and I will try to get them here before January 1st.
Including the city.
One from the city.
All vacations have been revoked.
Call for the question.
I mean, is everybody gonna be here, John?
December.
Tom will be gone for the January meeting, but he can be on screen. How about you, John? Are you gonna be gone?
I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be leaving right after the meeting for a month.
I'll be gone in December, January.
Robert,
I'll
you
be
got
gone
it,
December 8th, until December 18th.
Well, we're gonna have to get a big screen, guys.
Yeah, okay, should we vote on that motion then?
Amended.
The amended motion?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
I vote yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Wow. All right, let's go to
Now
Sanford.
we have to vote on the motion as amended.
According,
You voted for the
Well,
amendment, now we have to vote on the
well, okay, I mean, we,
as amended.
okay, let's,
Okay.
Go outside.
Question?
yeah.
Yes.
Who was motion and second?
No,
As
The
amended.
original was Dave and Mike.
Dave and Mike was the amendment.
So you're gonna double vote on the motion?
Jimmy
No, we
amended
have
theirs.
to, we amended the motion, now we have to vote on the motion as amended.
Thought you did that.
Sometimes we do
Just
this
amended.
without, sometimes we do this,
No.
we ask Chris to make
Two steps of this project.
Well,
We didn't actually have an amended motion. He amended his
I
original
amended-
motion.
yeah.
So I think we voted on the original motion.
Yeah.
I amended it.
You suggested an amendment, and
No, I amended it and Mike seconded it.
It's a friendly amendment.
Okay.
Yes.
did you do that?
Yeah.
So now we have to vote on the motion as amended.
Which basically is the same motion.
Now, the thing is, you wouldn't have to have a second vote if the original motion maker and second amended
You
it. But
vote on the
Jim
amendment, then
amended
you
it.
vote on the original motion.
Okay.
Okay, let's just go ahead and.
Who was the
vote.
second on the amendment?
Mike?
Rod?
Okay, let's vote.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Same people.
Same vote, same, yeah. Okay, he's gonna be watching us here. Okay, let's go to the operator's report.
Last month, we put in the new check valve that we talked about at lift station 2 for the high flows to try and solve the problems with water flowing back into that lift station. The last week or two, we don't have high enough flows to cause us problems to know if that check valve is gonna work. We probably won't know until sometime between March and June, till we get high flows, the runoff and all that stuff, to actually know if that valve is gonna solve our problems. We're hoping it does. The other thing we did, we removed this, there's a strainer screen on the end of the recirculation pump that we've been having problems with. That screen builds up with slime and crap on it, so we talked with WSN and talked to Getch, who supplied the pump, to be able to take the screen off if there's gonna be any problems with the check valve on that. It seemed to help the problem of the pump dropping out, losing prime. It's only been that way for 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, so time will tell if that's gonna be the fix for that recirculation pump. Also with that, we installed a plate above it where the outfall comes out of the clarifier to the suction line for that recirculation. Thought was that there was air getting trapped in the water coming down and pulling air in for the suction on that, causing problems with the pump dropping out, losing prime. With those two things taken care of, we've only seen once that the pump has dropped out. I'll say within, well, we put I'll say once in the last week since the plate was installed above the suction line for that recirc pump. That pump has lost prime, but it dropped out and came right back right away all on its own. So time will tell if that's between those two things, between the screen and that plate, if that's gonna fix our problem with the recirculation pump. We're not sure yet. It's just time will tell. We don't know what the answer will be. It's just gonna be time. Let's see, McClellan made up the plate for us. We got a load of ferric sulfate in last week. With the low dilution, our sulfate use is higher because we have to get rid of the phosphorus somehow, and that's what the whole system is set up on. With when we have more flow, more dilution water, we use less ferric sulfate. It just dilutes it out better, but when it's phosphorus is concentrated, we have to dump more ferric sulfate into it, so our usage goes up late summer throughout the winter till we start getting that more dilution water to help us out on that usage for that chemical. Cervical came up, calibrated all the flow meters that we use for billing through North Kooch, everything that comes into it. I'm trying to think what, we also have them calibrate what goes into the EQ station and what comes out, so we have better control of that big station itself. That's just something we've always done, just so we know those flow meters are not off, because that could give us lots of problems if we have one flow meter flake out, I'd say our influent flow meter flake out, and we get more water coming in than we actually, that we think we're having in, and we could overflow that tank. We could back up houses on that Riverview Boulevard area. So that's, every time he comes up every 6 months, we calibrate the inflow and outflow of that tank, so we can keep a good track of what's control of that tank. John Henry Foster, who supplied the Quincy air compressors for the filter building service guy, was up here. He went through everything for the warranty, changed oil, had some recommendations for changing out a part for moisture removal. Talked about some things that we could do, corrected us on time intervals for oil changes, filter servicing, and stuff like that. The original guy that was with John Henry Foster isn't with the company anymore. He gave us some misinformation from day one. But no, this guy came up, he said, no, this is a schedule. He gave us a schedule when things should be changed out and stuff. And that's all to deal with the warranty on those compressors. I believe it's like a 10-year warranty on those compressors. And if we don't go with John Henry Foster's service people, compressors will go out of warranty. And those are pretty expensive compressors that were installed in the filter building. General heating was here. For the boilers, we had issues with our number 2 boiler not running when we switched over to that boiler, or when number 1 boiler tripped out, number 2 boiler would try and start, would not run. What he ended up finding is in the gas valves themselves, there's limit switches. We thought it was pressure switch related issues, but he found the limit switches in the gas valve, how far the valve opens and stuff, has to make a limit switch to prove to the fire to the flame sensor that that valve's open and everything. The set screw that holds the limit switch loosened up and shifted, so the valve would open, it wouldn't make the limit switch, and then it would turn around and shut right down again. And that's what the guy from General Heating found on that. So we had to actually tear apart the gas valves themselves to find that issue. Got that taken care of. We've been running number 2 boilers since he left, and that was November 3rd he came up, so we've been running number 2 boiler without it dropping out since November 3rd. So that was a big improvement that we found there. Chlorination sulfur system, we don't have to run that as of October 31st at midnight, so November 1st we shut that down, so we won't be chlorinating or dechlorinating throughout the winter, and we start that up again April 1st. And then with the DMR, everything was submitted with that, and all our effluent standards were met according to our permits and everything.
Okay,
How long did it take that guy from General Heating to find that valve or that pressure?
I'm not exactly sure. He was here most of the day.
It's like a needle in a haystack.
Yeah, I mean, this guy that comes up, this Dale, he's pretty sharp on boilers. I'd gone through the pressure switches and see if they were plugged up, see if there's any scale or anything in the little orifices on pressure switches, because that's what we've had in the past. Everything was clean, and so it was kind of a, what's the next step to look at? And with his knowledge, I mean, working on boilers all the time, that's what he started looking at, and he simulated the boiler firing and then shutting right down. And with his knowledge of everything, he was able to, he knew that there was limit switches in these gas valves.
he's good, he's good.
Yeah, you've used them for how many years, this Dale? Long before I started. He's one, I think, that set up the old original boiler to get it to continuously burn when he had problems too. So
Good question.
the time wise, see, as far as how long he was here to find that problem, I don't know, because I wasn't down there then looking over his shoulder.
You guys are probably a little bit short-staffed now and whatever.
On and off throughout the
So,
hunting
tour,
season.
have you been on a tour?
No, I'll come in.
Set it up, anybody else, I don't know, whenever you want to go for a tour, you should, set it up with those guys. And
I'll talk to John.
It's very interesting, system. Okay?
I have a question about a report. The meters are for custody control, meters that you bill off of. Did you say they're calibrated once a month?
Twice a year.
Twice a year.
Twice a year, and that's
So-
for billing for a permit.
Okay, could we get a copy of the as found and?
Yeah, he sends us back, and I don't
Could
know
we
if
see those?
I don't know if he sent those back
Do you
yet or
want to
not.
just look at them over there, or you want a copy or something?
No, what?
But what he changes,
Yeah,
if he finds anything, or?
I like to see.
Yeah, he
what's
sends
on.
us up a report every time after he goes
Something.
through everything.
Okay.
Jeff, you want to run that off? You have that?
Yeah, you can get, I don't know, like I said, I don't know if he gave us ones from, when he's up this fall yet, if those have been returned to us yet, but we've got the history of all the other trips that he's made.
Are they all smart flow meters?
Yeah, we don't have any air bubble systems, it's all either, Miltronic, Siemens, or, I'm trying to think of the new ones that we got, I can't think of the name right offhand.
Take a look at it.
But we got, some are flow tubes and some are flumes that they measure flow with.
Okay? All right, thank you, Jeff. Now, the director's report.
Been working with legal and WSN to finish end needs of the project, and that's been done, Mr. Chairman. I congratulate the board and Mark and legal and staff. It's been a long haul. We've got a pretty good operation, and there wouldn't be anything in this town without wastewater treatment plant. That includes police, fire, hospitals, everything. Worked with staff on projects. Working with Stacy for the transition. Been giving her templates and forms for reporting to agencies and, stuff that she can just plug in and then collect information for the MPCA or U.S. Census Bureau or whoever wants, and it's constant. finishing report to the US Census, which has been ongoing since the project. I think probably one more report to send out, and that'll be in December, and I'll still be here. Again, continue to help staff, meeting with staff and administration, assistant every day, working with them to help them get mobilized in the morning, and then that's it. And also I'm working on my needs for my future, and that's been going on now for a while. That's it.
I have a question for the director.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there a written job description for you?
Yep, it's been given out. We can get a copy.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure there was one on file.
Yep. John wants it tweaked, the new director can tweak it, or the board can tweak it.
It's been terminated.
And that's just it. I mean, I don't know. It has, the job description has been kind of terminated, and,
What?
kind of.
Okay, that's all I
The position as it stands, Jim, is going to be changed.
Where did that come from?
Of course it does. You said that you're gonna be tweaking that thing. The agreement says that this position, I'm not gonna get into it.
All right.
Let's move on.
Okay, new business, resignation of Doug Dalt, and we've already taken care of the paperwork part of it. However, I just want to thank Doug. You know, we've had some heated discussions, I would say, and we disagreed on a lot of stuff, but we agreed on a lot of stuff. Doug was really, I was really happy with his tenure on this board. He added a lot to this, the discussion on this board, so, you know, he will be missed, really.
John, I'd like to thank Doug for, during the construction, some of the stuff your knowledge of pipe fitting and stuff, I thought was really helpful a lot of times, and we've had stuff to discuss with that, so I appreciate your input.
Doug was always quite frank, and you always knew where he was coming from. That's one real, that's one thing I appreciated.
Does Doug want to say anything, or?
I'd like
He
to,
wrote we read the letter was a very nice letter, and
I'd like to thank you for your time too, Doug. I really do. I think you're pretty good. Honest.
you've got a future in politics, man.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Okay, and then we read the letter from Mayor Anderson regarding Doug. And now, new business, East Kooch contracted service logs. I don't know why that
What
came
is
up.
that?
That was requested by some board member, to see how, and Stacy put back 6 months.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's very good. You know, I think you'll find out that it's very complete and it's very descriptive, and, yeah, Tom.
I talked to Mike, and, you know, they just don't know how that works. And so I thought it'd be a good idea to bring it up and show them it isn't just haphazard, it's done methodically and with the best interest of everybody involved. And
Yeah, and there's so much equipment out there right now, it's nice to have good, complete logs that can go back and see where they had trouble prior. And
Explain it to me, Bill, Tom. I mean, if you got GS, what does that mean? By date 1, June of 2015 is where I'm at.
Grinder station, yes.
Okay, and then what would be TB/JH?
Then it shows that the employee who went out there.
The initial-
TV
oh,
would be
okay.
John, yeah, that's Jay, should be John Harris.
And these are all hours worked in East Kooch.
RTCT, what's that? Regular time, comp time?
use military time in there because it's easier to enter that into the spreadsheet rather than doing an AM and PM type thing, you know.
Well, and that's meant that they were on their 40-hour clock then. CT is, they were called in.
Well, I think originally it was, I think the question was brought up about how much time is spent on Gopher State. One calls out in that area, and that's why they thought, well, we would mark everything down and doing okay.
Everybody
You guys
satisfied
go out.
with that? That's. Okay, LMC, League of Minnesota Cities liability coverage.
You need a motion second, Mr. Chairman, and the staff recommends is you do not waive the monetary limits.
This is kind of counterintuitive, I don't know. There's a little bit of confusion every year. We do this every year. And it's whether to waive or don't waive. Whatever we did in the past, I'll vote for that.
We do not waive.
We not waive. We not
Nobody
waive.
waives.
Yeah. So you guys can read that and see if you can,
So move to approve the liability coverage from the League of Minnesota Cities and do not waive the monetary limit.
okay, is there a second? Tom, seconds. All right. Any questions on that? I mean, no?
Yeah, I'm asking you, what does do not waive the monetary limits?
We've had a discussion before about this.
I raised that question many years ago, and everybody says do not waive it.
But for what reason? Do you know, Bob?
$500,000 is you are putting out as a limit for recovery on a claim. If you do waive, they can collect a lot more.
Your insurance
open to-
policy is $500,000 to me if I decide to sue you.
That's what
And
does
when I
not
say
waive.
do not waive, that allows me to sue you for more?
Yes.
So how much more does it cost us?
Nothing.
So why the hell would you even have it there?
It's something you have to do every year. The league wants you to do it.
We gotta do every year. Just don't ask
Why are
why.
you gonna get my money out of me anyway?
Can we vote on it? Should we vote on it or no? You ready to vote?
Who's second?
Yes. I vote yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Okay, now, here's one that was the power bills. That's,
Yeah, I'd like the chair's permission to research our power bills, just to see if we're getting any penalties for how our billing is structured, mainly on our plant, what's the biggest consumption.
okay.
Maybe some cost savings, and if I could work with Mr. Plow maybe. We might, if we're incurring a power factor correction penalty that's based into the bill, we can, might be able to eliminate that.
You're just looking for the power bills for the plant? Not
Normally,
for all our stations and all that.
I think it's good, Mr. Chairman. Jim's very up on that.
Yeah, I appreciate your expertise. Jim's got lots of background on this
I'll
kind of
second
thing.
that motion.
No, I just
I'll make a motion that
Chair.
he does it,
Chair
that has to be done.
You can be chair discretion, or you can make.
Yeah, I just asked the chair to.
Okay.
Okay, appreciate that.
normally they're covered under blanket authorizations, but I don't see any in this packet this month.
What's that?
The power bill.
It's combined here. It's 4,900.
I think we've got to think about now for our snowbirds. We've got to buy a bigger screen. So, I mean, I think we should make a move on buying a bigger screen for when we do for the television.
Can that include getting like Don Cossack in here to put in the right system?
I mean, it's something we got to think about, because look at some of the problem we had last year, so.
We got to do it by December.
Right, so we should probably get started on that.
Yeah,
I have no idea what it would cost or anything like that, but I mean, if we're gonna be televising it, you know, for like Tom, John, and who's ever,
You're gonna have a majority gone probably.
Can't go.
And it's legal to put it on screen, but you got to spend some money.
yeah,
I think we ought to get a cost.
yeah.
I think we should-
Well, I agree with you there, Don, but I mean, it's something we should think about now before.
Just instruct the director to get a cost on updating our system.
We use Don Cossack, who's the city's IT guy, to repair some of our stuff. He's put everything together here. If you want me to, I'll contact
I have
him.
no idea who he
Who
is.
is it?
Don Costick.
Oh. Yeah, we gotta be able to test that out ahead of time, make sure that everybody can get on there that wants to get on there
Yeah.
as well.
Unless somebody like knows computer whiz that could do it too, that's fine with me.
But, yeah, okay.
I'm out.
And, when-
Okay.
and the protocol to follow would be just, you simply put a notice on your door that there's gonna be a meeting. I doubt anybody will show up, but then you just sit there and take part in the meeting.
And I don't know, maybe just buy a cheap webcam too, rather than having the laptop to the
Yeah, we need something.
laptop camera.
I mean, something we can mount right on the wall or
Yeah.
something like that, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, can we look into that without,
Yeah.
making any decision right now?
But I think it's something we should think
Oh,
about
yeah,
now.
yeah.
I'll bring that to the December meeting.
Okay,
Our next meeting,
One more.
letter from,
well,
I thought the letter from Simone was discussed,
Northern liability?
pardon?
Isn't there a northern liability? On the- yeah, it's-
Northern Reliable.
Yeah, we added that to the agenda.
No, I thought that was, Chopper said he had a meeting with Tim over there.
Yeah,
and
well,
everything.
Steve is the one that wanted to put that in the new,
Well, I had a question about it, that's why.
oh,
I wanted to know what, Don, what was your conversation with Timmy Anderson? Why did you go
Well,
over there?
Tim was upset because we had replaced him as an insurance representative, and he felt that we hadn't given him adequate notice that we were considering that. He's been our insurance representative since we started, just about, so. And I went out and talked about my own insurance, so I didn't go out and talk about the sewer district's business, but it went to that. And we, Chopper and Stacy, had communicated with him more than he understood. He had some medical problems of his own, and I think he missed some of the emails and stuff that he had sent. So he had been notified much more than he thought. And so, this was after he wrote the letter. So, after it was all considered, he was a little more satisfied. And he said that he intended to come back and try to get his business back next time we renewed it. And that's what he told me. But that was no official business, that was just our
and
conversation.
he knew that there had been at least one, possibly two meetings that we'd set up with him, committee meetings,
Yeah.
to ask
He did.
questions, and then he
He didn't
wasn't here.
realize that, and so I talked to him about that, and then he came in and talked to Chopper, and they kind of went over the records, and things kind of settled down.
Thank you.
I don't think it needs any more talk at this time. I think he's gonna come back again, and I think he represents every government entity in town, except us now.
Doesn't have a city, I don't think.
I mean, it's not bad to revisit some of our contracts that we have with ongoing contracts, give somebody else a chance
Right?
so,
Well, the letter originally said he looked through all his emails and never saw any requests to come and meet with our board.
Right.
So
I
evidently
think he
he
withdrew that.
searched some other
I
emails.
think he's satisfied for now.
Okay. I think it just brings out a point though, that if we do something like that, we should get something in writing that that person is no longer wishes to represent the board. It should be in writing, not.
Well, if the board can go out and look and see contract with anybody, I pleaded with Tim. I called Tim. We sent, 2 or 3 emails? Tim didn't come to 2 meetings, Steve? And John can attest, and Tom can attest, and Don can attest, a lot of people. He didn't show up. I called him, he said, oh, God, I forgot. He acknowledged, and we're friends, we shook, and he said, I acknowledge that I haven't been maintaining my contract.
So how are we standing then with the new agent? Are we
It looks like we're gonna probably end up saving between 5 and 10%, in 16. Insurance.
Thing is, if we went to the high deductible, and what would the what is the deductible per member and per family?
2 and 4.
Pardon?
2 and 4. 2,000 and 4,000.
2,000 a person, 4,000 a family.
You know, that's not good, but the IRS considers that very high cost, very high deductible. It's
But
not
you
good-
want-
Not good program.
And I'll argue with you on the personal note, but I'm arguing with the board. The board wants to try to save money or keep it under control.
Yeah, I
So
know,
what do you think?
I know, it's a conundrum, it's tough, it's,
Yes, John, but I feel there's other options out there that will save
Yeah.
us money in 2017,
yeah,
more than what we've saved this year.
yeah. There are options.
I've looked at some options and they're substantially better than what we have for the employees, for less money.
Yeah,
Are they less deductibles?
Yeah.
we gotta start looking at that right away.
Yeah, it's a group that you belong to, Jim. Basically, you know, the more people that are in that group, the less it's going to be. So we have to look to a group, can be in the cities, that you can attach to and save money, basically, is what it amounts to. Just like the operator, what was that, what did they call that? That insurance that was.
49ers?
No?
Local 49 operator.
What were we talking about that we couldn't do until next year?
Yeah,
Well, you can't
I think over here, they're with it.
I mean, Good Sam?
machinists.
No?
Those are union guys. The 49ers. If the
No.
guys wanna go union, Dave, they can join the
No,
group.
the 49ers, but it's called a different group.
Not
Oh,
Nelson
machinists?
Trust.
Nelson Trust.
Nelson Trust?
Yeah, that's machinists.
I don't remember. what
Yeah,
it is.
and
That's
it's-
Nelson
yeah,
Trust.
you can save money, but you don't have any control over it, the guys do, they'd have to.
The only thing with the Nelson Trust, once you reach the age of 65, it won't cover you anymore.
Sorry, I brought it up.
We don't have any correspondence.
I move to adjourn.
Huh?
Can we set the next meeting?
How
December
about,
21st. No, December 22nd.
Yeah, it's interesting.
You know, the 22nd, John, the 15th, I'm sorry, December
And they
15th.
forget what motions they've made a month ago or 2 months ago, and then they gotta revisit the whole issue.
December 15th, okay?
I'm reading the third, the 18th.
Third till the 18th?
Let's have it on the 19th.
And then certain ones wanna vote no, no matter what it is.
So you're leaving
That's
in
their
December?
instinct is to vote no.
Does anybody have any,
I ain't leaving.
you know, the thing is, we change the meeting, we gotta post them.
Exactly.
Are you
Yeah.
doing a Monday or a Tuesday?
It's probably the most dysfunctional.
14th or 15th, I'll be at the double meeting,
Yeah.
if we know how many.
If you're gone, they can hold business.
I mean, if I'm gone, there's enough people here to have.
Yeah.
You're
Two
gone.
people, I know.
You're gone the
I'm gone at third till the 18th.
third till the.
I'm afraid we did know.
You gone here?
I'm gone on the 18th. Mike, are you gonna be here?
Yeah, I'll be here, I'm sure. Wait,
Okay, Tom, you're okay?
Tuesday or Monday?
You're okay with the Tuesday on the 15th?
Who's the vice chair?
I got a doctor's appointment, I don't remember what day it was. Maybe I
I
can
gotta
get
look
it
at
in
my
the afternoon.
appointment.
What day you're talking about, the 15th?
Well, yeah, we
Either
could
the
go
Monday or 14th or 15th.
14th or 15th.
It don't matter, I guess.
You know, guys, why don't we set a date and leave it there? If you're not gonna be here, tough luck with it.
That's right.
Well, we'd
I
like
mean,
to
we're
have,
jumping around.
everybody is so important, though.
Yeah.
We'd like to have everybody here.
I understand that.
You want to have a forum.
But are you gonna stop this meeting for me?
We're not gonna have.
Because whatever date, I'm
We
gonna
can't.
tell you something,
We have
John.
to.
Whatever date you set it on, I'm gonna say, I can't keep it.
We keep
Then what
it
do
at
you-
our regular date and we're pushing Christmas.
Okay, how about 14th?
No, just-
How about you, 14th, okay?
14th's fine.
14th's bad for you.
Monday the 14th.
8 AM, Tom, you're okay? You're okay, 14th?
December 14th.
14th?
Yeah.
14th,
Yeah.
okay, December,
Not me,
Monday.
I want to be here.
Albert.
Oh, yeah.
You're not gonna be here on the
That's why I'm saying, John, this stuff is
yeah.
jumping around the dates. I said it last month or the month before. Set a date, and we moved to a Tuesday, do you remember? We moved to a Tuesday
Moved
from
to
a Monday
Tuesday?
so more people could be there. Let's set a date and leave it at that.
Well, I don't
It's a
know.
county board
Well, I
meeting.
mean, I make a motion that we set a date and leave it at that.
I go to
The
the county
first
board
Monday,
on
the second
Tuesdays.
Tuesday, or the third Friday. It doesn't make any difference to me. All I'm saying, we're always, every month, we're sitting here arguing about,
No.
I'm gonna be here, I can't be here, I won't be here.
No,
I got a
third-
doctor's
it's
appointment.
either, no, are you getting this, Julie?
Well, it is.
No, I know,
Turn that
but, you know,
Now do you see what you're getting into, Jim? Huh?
Well, isn't there something that says we meet such and such a Monday of every month?
Third Monday, I thought it was.
It used to be.
So what is the
Then they
meeting
changed it
date?
a couple months.
the thing is,
Well, we did it because of
other,
yours.
you know, other people have been going to Tuesdays because of the long weekend situation, a lot of times. So,
What's
Monday
East
is a
Coach's
day,
policy?
and then you gotta change it anyway,
What's East Coach's policy?
holiday.
We set a
Third Wednesday?
date, we set a date at every meeting.
So it's different, it's not the same each month.
I look to have all parties in attendance.
I assumed it was the same every month, Wednesdays.
This meeting would be 8 o'clock,
Yeah.
On the 14th, right? Is that?
14th at 8
Is
o'clock.
that right? Dave, are you good?
Because I haven't got my appointment book here. I mean, what?
To get your smartphone
Well,
out.
I'll have to go home. No, I'm all right with it. Let's leave
Well,
it
let's
there.
just say Monday or Tuesday then, the 14th. Then you can make one of those, we'll just schedule it for you.
Why don't you call us and tell us what day you want it?
You're the only one that's gonna,
Okay, what's the chair?
What's the date, please?
What is it?
maybe Monday or
December
Tuesday.
4th?
Monday, okay, Monday, December 14th,
8
No, we
a.m.
changed it.
8 AM,
Thank you.
We just changed
not
it.
7:30.
Move to adjourn?
I make a
That
motion.
for me,
Second.
Jim motion.
you don't need a motion, I'll just say, the chairman will just say,
Need a
adjourn.